Welcome back to Celebrity Radio. It's Alex Belfield talking to some of my favourite people and some of the world's biggest stars. We've got both of those for you today. Il Divo is one of my favourite groups of all time. How are you, Urs?
I'm very good, thank you.
Listen, I don't know what your life is like. I've tried to get my head round it. 1 minute you're in America, the next minute you're in Russia, now you're in Croatia. In October you'll be back in the UK for the tour. It must be a bit bonkers being you.
It is, yeah, especially now Europe. We've been touring in Europe now for about 3 weeks and into Russia, deep into Russia actually this time, cities we've never been to, like 3 hours east of Moscow. So, and then, different city every day, different country every day in Europe, which means different language, different currency, different everything. It's quite crazy at the moment.
What is it like when you go into a venue where the songs you're singing isn't their first language? That's got to be a bit intimidating, hasn't it?
I don't think that matters to the people. You know, I mean, I can always see that from the point of view being Swiss. You know, when we grew up, and you're a teenager in Switzerland, and everything that's hot and that's in the charts, you know, is probably English. Some of it might be Italian, a little bit French, but you don't understand any of these languages, and you love the songs and you sing along, probably more or less accurately. It doesn't really matter, I think, with music.
I'm so proud of you boys. I did your first big interview when I was at the BBC. How many years ago is it now when you started? 10 or so?
Yeah, it's just over 10 years, I think. It was 10 years this April.
Crazy. And there you were, just 5 lads doing your business, stood there singing, enjoying yourselves, and you're still here today as big, if not bigger than ever. I mean, you are living the dream, really. To have longevity in show business is extraordinary.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And we have to pinch ourselves that it is going so well. And especially, as you say, you know, these cities I just mentioned in Russia, we have never played more than 2 shows in Russia. We played 7 this time. Japan is another territory that just keeps growing. Every time we go back there, we play more shows, bigger shows, more people. UK has just from the beginning on completely been embracing us, and every time we come back to the UK, we just get the most wonderful welcome and play so many cities. It's amazing that we can still go so strong, and especially on the live, which is obviously the biggest fun for us as well, you know, singing the live concerts.
Again, your voices, I said the first time I heard you, you have such synergy between your voices, yet you're all so different. I think that's the reason it works. You're all very individual, but you're able to bring your voices together with this unique sound.
You know, people ask us very often, what is the success of Il Divo? And I actually think you hit the nail on the head there. I think it is just the fact that we're so different from each other on every level, you know. We come from different countries. We have different cultural backgrounds. We have different voices. We have got a different musical education, all of us. And we just manage somehow to bring that all together, but it just makes for something very rich, very colorful, and there's something in it for everybody.
Yeah, and you're back in the UK from the 18th of October with your new tour, which basically celebrates the hits of the musicals. Firstly, you just were with a mate of mine in Russia, Maz Murray, who I think is probably the biggest star in the West End ever. She's got a stunning voice. Was it nice working with her?
Oh, it was absolutely fantastic. I mean, she's a blast. She is so much fun. And it was quite interesting because the repertoire she sang, obviously, she's been the Killer Queen and We Will Rock You for 10 years. So she sang Queen repertoire. So she did another one, Bite to Dust, and Find Me Somebody to Love. And that is quite a contrast to what we do. So I think the audience, and also when I've watched the orchestras on stage, for example, playing it with her, everybody really enjoyed it because it really made for a good contrast to the rest of the show. It was great. And
she's also one of the funniest, naughtiest people I've ever met. It's got to be great to be on the road with somebody who's interesting.
Oh, yeah, I had so much fun there. It's brilliant, really.
And in the UK, you're going to be performing with Lea Salonga, who I first saw again years and years and years ago on Broadway. She really is the epitome of a leading lady. That's going to be fun.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, we've been doing the whole first leg of the tour through Asia and the United States with Lea. And Lea is just an incredible professional. I mean, she's been standing on a stage for 35 years, and she just, you know, the difficulty for us, we had all these different duet partners when we recorded the album on Musical Affair, and we had to find somebody who can sing all these different women voices, basically. I mean, Leia sings them with her own voice,
Yeah.
but she's just got the technical ability and the range to do all these different duets with us, and she's just amazing. And she's so rock solid on stage. I mean, every night is just, it's a pleasure to sing with her.
I got to ask you about that. I mean, I've seen you live, I don't know, 10, 15 times now over the years. The first time I saw you actually live was opening the Fifth Avenue Christmas lights. Do you remember doing that one year?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was incredible. There you were, stood on the balcony singing Oh Holy Night and just knocking it out the park. I wonder on those days you're not feeling up to it, how you manage to pull off the show, because your songs just get bigger and bigger and bigger, and they're the epitome of a crescendo, really, aren't they? I mean, the show gets bigger, the songs get bigger.
Yeah, I mean, you know, at this stage of the tour, it kind of gets easier because you get road tough, as we call that, you know. It's like working out, you know, and if you do these shows every night, the song's gonna sit in your voice, you know, your body knows what it does, your throat knows what it's doing. And for the rest, it is tough being on tour. So you just have to get your rest, your vocal rest. You've got to get your sleep. You got to eat well. You got to hydrate. You know, you can't go clubbing after our type of shows and scream around in a smoky bar and that kind of stuff and think you can do another show tomorrow night. That's just not going to work like that, and it never did.
Well, and of course the thing is now, Urs, you're all so old and married with children that you wouldn't want to do it anyway.
No, that's true. I mean, you definitely get older, and I mean, even Carlos, who used to be like the big party animal, enjoying nothing but the nightlife, these days, he's like, he just said the other day in the car, you know, the whole going out, you know, is it really that great, you know? Sometimes I just want to go to back to my room after the show and just enjoy a quiet moment, you know, because the next morning I need to go out again.
Do you still pinch yourself when you walk out on stage and it's your 11 o'clock number, whatever that might be, and the pin focuses on you and the audience is still screaming? I mean, it's an extraordinary feeling that 99.9% of the population never get to experience.
Yeah, that is true, and I hope I never really get used to it, and I hope I'll never really get addicted to it either. You know, you've got that thing with certain people who just get so used to stand on stage that they just need an audience until they die, you know, basically, when it's actually far beyond their time. But it's definitely an absolute blast, and the thing is also, David always says that in the beginning of the shows, you know, the more you get from the audience, the more you give. It's that energy exchange which really bumps each other up, and if you've got a great audience there which is really excited, that gets you excited, and it's just a big adrenaline rush, definitely.
And you've always kept yourselves pretty pure. I mean, I've never seen you falling out of clubs on the front of newspapers in scandals. Was that important to you from the beginning? Because you do have sort of a Middle England fan base of people who won't stand for nonsense. Have you sort of prided yourself on that you take it seriously and you don't get involved in the nonsense?
Yeah, and I think it's just a must for us, just purely because what we're doing and the way we're doing it. Because as I just said earlier, you know, with singing we're doing, I can't allow myself to stumble out of clubs at 3 o'clock in the morning and sing again the next night. I just wouldn't physically be possible. And I think also, you know, then the next thing is Il Divo is, to me, it's always been a total package, and everything goes together. It's the classy, the beautiful, and the romantic music, and with that, I think, goes the look and the behavior as well.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, we've been labelled perfect sons-in-law. And perfect sons-in-law do not stumble out of bars drunk, you know, in the middle of the night.
What is your life like when you wake up in the morning? Do you go, is it there? Do you have a neurosis about your voice, or do you just take it for granted now that what will be will be?
Well, I can take it for granted, but I think generally, if nothing, if I don't happen to catch a virus somewhere, then generally the voice is all right. Or if I wake up in the morning and I just feel it's not quite there, then I just know I have to keep quiet all day until the show. You got to give your voice the rest it needs. You know, you got to drink a lot of water. You know, I always, worst case, I'll have some Ricola. That's always my secret weapon. But then, if you actually just live your day normally without doing anything crazy, then normally the voice is just there, unless you get so exhausted that you just get very prone to picking up bugs and stuff. And touch wood, it has never happened that we had to cancel shows, but if the voice is gone, then it's just gone. There's nothing you can do.
Right. And do they treat you well? I mean, are you flying at the front of the plane? Are you turning left? Or are you still cattle class these days?
You know what? That's our personal choice, actually. I've done the whole U.S. tour in economy, for example, and just because it's my own money I'm spending.
Right.
And you know, it always depends a bit on how long you travel, where you travel to, on what airline you travel. I must say that now this European tour so far, I've done in business class, and it is much more relaxing.
Right.
You know, and when you have long travels, and when you have travels on, without offending anybody, on dodgy airlines, you know, that extra bit of comfort is actually worth it.
I flew with an airline recently. They got a can of Coke, they handed it to me. They said, take a sip and hand it round. That's how bad air travel's got these days. They're very tight, aren't they?
Oh my God, I can't even believe that.
As it's always nice talking to you, and I'm going to come and see you live in Nottingham. You're all over the UK, and I'm so proud of you boys for keeping at it and keeping doing it. I first saw David, for example, on Broadway in La Boheme years and years ago. I know that Carlos was in Beauty and the Beast. I mean, so many of you have had careers before this, and it would be easy for you to find a new one now. You're happy, though, being together, aren't you? It seems like the relationship between the four of you is as strong as it ever was.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know what we always have to realize is that we've really made it with Il Divo as a classical crossover group to the top of the world, you know. And no matter what we would do individually, to get to that level would just be very, very, very hard, you know. And of course we all do our little things next to it, which we enjoy, you know. David does his concerts, and Carlos is producing his ex-wife, and well, Sebastian's mostly family father, and I'm mostly a motorcyclist, and so. But yeah, it's very, very, very special what we've achieved with Il Divo, and we just love it, and we love every minute of it, and we want to keep this going as long as we can.
Do you take it as a compliment that groups like Calabro are forming, where they're trying to basically recreate what you did, which is that big anthemic sound, doing musical numbers?
Yeah, certainly these days. You know, in the beginning when we started and we had our first success, you know, our first one or two albums, and these groups really sprung out of the ground like mushrooms, that was a bit of like, wait, why is everybody trying to copy us, you know? And we felt a bit threatened by these things. But now that after 10 years that we are still around and go strong, and most of these groups are not around anymore, that, yeah, I feel it, I take it as a big, big compliment.
Yes, I think you got nothing to fear. Just very finally on the motorcycle thing, I wanted to talk to you about this. Can you stop it? It makes me very nervous. It's too dangerous. We need you to be intact to do these concerts. No more motorcycling.
No, I will not stop that. I mean, we got clear stipulations in our tour contract, obviously, insurance-wise, what we can do and what we can do. I could never take part in any racing activity or that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But recreational, and you know what? I'm not a racer. I've never ridden the crotch rocket. I ride Harley Davidsons and Goldwings. I ride slowly, and I enjoy my rides.
Urs, final question for you. What's more thrilling, standing in front of a crowd or being on the back of a Harley? What's more thrilling?
Standing in front of the crowd.
Urs, so nice to talk to you, as always. Congratulations on all the success of Il Divo. I always love talking to you guys. You are phenomenal. You're back in the UK from the 18th of October, back on tour at these huge arenas and packing them out. Good for you. I hope to see you all very soon. Send my love to the boys, and I look forward to seeing you in Nottingham.
Thanks very much, Alex. Pleasure talking to you.
Cheers, Urs. Bye-bye.